They love the Bible, and it's the greatest book, and they swear on it, but it has these things that are like comically stupid and corrupt. I mean, God is so corrupt in the Bible. I mean, you can bargain. You can bargain.
Today, we take a look at a list of people who think they can make a mockery of God and get away from it. Stick around because number 1 might surprise you. Number 4, Bill Maher, a comedian and actor, made a shocking remark about God and the Bible on a podcast with Jordan Peterson.
They love the Bible, and it's the greatest book, and they swear on it, but it has these things that are like comically stupid and corrupt. I mean, God is so corrupt in the Bible. I mean, you can bargain. You can bargain humans. You know, he does things that are so capricious and cruel and, you know, petty. I mean, he's very Trumpian.
Well, I respect everyone's right to have their own beliefs and opinions. However, as a Christian, I must express my deep concern and disagreement with the description of God and the Bible presented in your comment. It's important to approach the Bible with an open heart and understanding. To many, it's not just a book, it's the inspired word of God, a guide for life, and a reflection of his love for humanity. Taking isolated incidents or verses out of context can lead to misunderstandings. The Bible spans different cultures, time periods, and literary genres, and it's important to study it in depth with appropriate contextual understanding. Mocking or demeaning God is a dangerous path.
Jesus is speaking in the upper room with his disciples, and he says, "If the world hates you, you know that it has hated me before it hated you." One thing the disciples knew for sure was that the world hated Jesus Christ.
At number 2 is the movie Barbie.
I want to ask this. Who is the intended audience for this film? Who's the intended audience for this film? So I'll tell you who the intended audience for this film is, and I can tell 2 ways. 1, the previews on the film, and 2, the people in the audience. So the intended audience for this film is moms and their 8-year-old daughters. That's the intended audience for the film. I know because the previews for the film were all kids movies. I'm talking like G or PG rated kids films. We're talking like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Trolls 4 or whatever it is. Those were all the previews, right? All the previews are actually directed at what the audience is supposed to be for this film. And if you look in the audience, it's a bunch of moms, like youngish moms, middle-aged moms, with their like 6, 7, 8-year-old girls. That's the entire crew. This movie is not made for any of those people. In fact, this movie is made for no one. The basic sort of premise of the film, politically speaking, is that men and women are on 2 sides of the divide and they hate each other. And literally the only way you can have a happy world is if the women ignore the men and the men ignore the women.
The movie opens with Barbie Land, a matriarchal utopia where all of the positions of power are dominated by women. When Barbie is struck with an existential crisis, she has to go out into the real world and find whoever owns her in real life and fix their problem. The movie presents men as toxically masculine, disgusting jerks. And when they finally get back to Barbie World, Ken has brought this patriarchal society back home with him. The only man in Barbie Land who does not participate in this behavior is this guy played by Michael Cera. The Barbies have to find a solution to the patriarchal oppression of the Kents, and in order to do this, they have to become unbrainwashed and take their power back from the Kens. This movie is about how all men are either stupid, evil, or both, and how strong, independent, good women can make a change. In this movie, masculinity is constantly portrayed as evil and oppressive, and the solution is never actually to solve the problem and cast a vision for proper masculinity. Instead, the movie makes it abundantly clear that there is no good masculinity and men need to basically become women. Barbie and Ken, symbolically representing men and women, don't actually need each other. We need radical individualism where everyone lives to serve themselves, and there are several inappropriate jokes in this movie that make references to homosexual acts between men. This movie is far from being family-friendly and is packed to the gills with radical feminist propaganda and anti-traditional Christian values. This is not the kind of movie you should expose your family to. Now let's move over to number 3. It's sad to see some people who claim to be Christian promote this music video on their WhatsApp status and Facebook. This is a new music video by an artist named Doja Cat. It's getting a lot of attention, and not all of it is positive. Many people have noticed that this video has some very spooky imagery. For example, Doja Cat dresses up like a creature with black eyes and even rides on a demon-looking figure in the video. There are also scenes with odd symbols and strange artwork. Some people think these images are just for fun, while others feel that they might have a deeper meaning. The song is called Paint the Town Red. When I looked at the lyrics, some lines stood out, like "she the devil." As we know, words are powerful and they can influence how we think and feel. So it's essential to choose wisely what we listen to and what messages we let into our minds. Some might argue that this is just artistic expression, but it's worth considering the impact it might have. If you believe in God, it's essential to think about whether the things you enjoy align with your faith. What surprised me even more was seeing a picture where Doja Cat appears in a dark outfit with horns, holding something that looks like a baby demon. This all reminds me of how important it is to be careful about what we expose ourselves to. We should always strive to fill our minds with positive and uplifting things. On the number 1 spot is Kirk Franklin.
Let me get some Drake or some Biggie.
Kirk Franklin mentioned he'd like to listen to some Drake or Biggie. Now, for those who might not be familiar, Biggie was a famous rapper who, in one of his songs, expressed a desire to go to hell rather than heaven. That's quite the statement, especially when we consider that Kirk Franklin is known for his gospel music and his deep faith in God. It got me wondering, why would someone so devoted to spreading God's message show interest in such contrasting music? Music has a powerful influence on our minds and souls. When we listen to certain lyrics or beats, they can evoke emotions, memories, or even change our mood. They can also influence our thoughts and beliefs, especially if we listen to them repeatedly. It's essential to be aware of what we're feeding our minds. The words in songs act like seeds that get planted in our brains. So, when a person deeply rooted in faith, like Kirk Franklin, mentions enjoying music that might carry a different message, it can be a little surprising. Everyone's journey with faith is unique. Many people start their journey full of zeal and passion, but as life happens, challenges arise, and sometimes the path isn't as clear. This doesn't necessarily mean they've lost their way. Perhaps they're just exploring different aspects of their spirituality or seeking to understand different perspectives. However, it's crucial to remain vigilant and ensure that what we're exposing ourselves to aligns with our beliefs and values. If we're not careful, it's easy to drift away from the path we once held dear. Lastly, let's remember to pray for one another. Everyone, including Kirk. It's always better to lift each other up rather than bring one another down. Stay blessed and subscribe to the channel if you like our videos. See you in the next video.